This video, while mostly filmed in Puerto Vallarta, is more about the incredible people that live there and the many blessings they have bestowed during the times that I visited over the past 2 years. Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in to the Timeless Travel Club. You are definitely welcomed here. My name is Andy and I'm so thankful for those of you that have taken interest in my travel channel. Now the people of Mexico and Puerto Vallarta, they're having a tough time of it during the pandemic, as is the rest of the world. But you know, I have not stopped going. I've cut back travel somewhat to Mexico, and city to city, they rely on tourism. This video, I'm going to spotlight people of Puerto Vallarta during good times and bad. Their hearts show through. So in honor of the people of Puerto Vallarta, this video is dedicated to you. Can you guys see me?
Yeah. You can move in a little bit more.
I got the post here.
That's good. Perfect.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Because the big furry kitty is in front of my view, so.
Right. Now you're good. We'll cut you off, or we'll
No, I just can't see me there.
Just no.
I think this will work.
Okay.
On the fly. So, you guys know my traveling compañeras, Idalia, Margie, Andy. And everybody keeps telling us while we're in Puerto Vallarta, you need to go to San Sebastián. San Sebastián, is that right?
Many times we heard that. They're selling it on the street.
So we did.
Literally.
It was a 2-hour drive. It wasn't a bad drive. It gets curvy up on top, so if you're subject to motion sickness, maybe not the trip for you unless you're drugged. For me personally, here's the thing about travel these days. And I'm not getting into the whole should you travel or not conversation. That's not what this is about. But nobody's traveling. Nobody's going to places like San Sebastián, so it was closed, which is in part sad because the people there, they need to work. That's all they have. So for us as travelers, it was disappointing because we couldn't experience the full San Sebastián, what all the locals here love. So enough for me. What was your experience in San Sebastián? And there's some good and some bad here, so stay tuned.
I think there was more young people playing their music. That was enjoyable to watch that. You need to know you have to be very agile, the streets. You have to be careful how you walk. The rocks are not like paved rocks. They're just rocks thrown in that area. So that was the only thing, is you got to watch your feet. I did buy a couple souvenirs just to help out the local that was there. But Margie's correct. The rocks are so uneven and so many different sizes and shapes. It is dangerous for people who aren't accustomed to that, because I did take a slip, I did take a fall, I did twist my ankle, could not walk. It kind of ended our trip to San Sebastián.
So I want to get into the experience afterwards, because her ankle started to swell.
Immediately.
I was thinking about getting her crutches. Our hotel, which is El Emperador. Yep, what she said. There was a lady, one of the housekeeping ladies, who saw us practically carrying her into the lobby. She came right up and then offered to help, and she did. What did she do for us?
She did. She had heard from the hotel, the front desk clerk, that I was looking for a medical or a doctor. And when she heard that, she immediately came to me and she said, no, you don't want to go to a doctor. They're very expensive here. We can take care of you. You need to go see Sylvan, and he can massage you and you'll be walking right away. So she brought the masseuse over, young kid. He said, yes, I can have you walking, just come on over. And he was right. I mean, it was very painful while he was working on me. And by the time he was done, I walked back across the street on my own.
we were wanting to help her, and Sebastián said, no, don't help her, let her do it naturally.
He kept telling me, don't be afraid to walk, don't be afraid to walk. And then when I came back to the hotel, Isabel, the maid, she told me that the next morning she would come to my room and she would bathe my foot, my ankle in salt water. She would wrap me in aloe vera and put an ace bandage around, and that's exactly what she did. And I'm able to walk slowly, but it did not end the rest of my vacation.
Just the idea of compassionate people that live here. I mean, and she talked about her compassion when she was taking care of her foot. You could see the way she handled her foot with care and what she did. And she went and bought the things that she was good.
She bought the icy hot, and she bought the ace bandage.
And then she brought the aloe vera and the saltwater bucket to put her. So these are people that are very caring and go the extra mile because they have compassion.
With people they don't know, will probably never see again.
Yeah,
Who knows?
and she wasn't even on our floor. She doesn't
Right.
work on our floor.
Yeah.
So, and this is why a lot of people tell me, why do you do what you do in Mexico? And on my vlogs I talk about pricing and flights and hotels, but really it's the people is the foundation
True.
of it. It holds the glue together. It's really the bottom line of why I do what I do. I was going to use the word expose. I'm not exposing them. I'm sharing them with you all. And it's sad because, their livelihoods are impacted, I think, more greatly than ours in the United States. The people in Mexico are hurting right now. I have to admit to a situation I put myself into. I was out on the beach and I was taking some video by myself, and a vendor came up. I really wasn't paying much attention to him because I was focusing on what I was doing, and he asked me if I wanted to buy, I don't know, it might have been jewelry. I barely glanced at him. I said, gracias, no. And he said to me in Spanish, we're hungry here. And I just said, sí, because I wasn't paying attention to him. And as he left, the words stayed in my, it takes a while for me to process Spanish. So the meaning of what he was telling me dawned on me, and I turned around, he was gone, but I really felt bad for him and for myself for not recognizing the moment. The last time I was in Puerto Vallarta, COVID was still kind of new, so there was a lot of, the protocol wasn't followed to the letter. Now, I feel safer here than at home. We tried in Guadalajara to get into a market, and we were refused because we're all over 60.
Rejected.
Rejected for a purpose.
Yes, and we all understood. In fact, in retrospect, I think it was a good thing because the people were in close proximity to each other, and we were able to avoid that. So we're doing things, the activities we're doing are not on the beach, not around a lot of people. We're going on excursions here and there. San Sebastián, which is the proper way to pronounce it, is a Pueblo Magico, one of the 17 that I have now visited. It's famous for having both silver and gold mines in its area. It's quaint, it's picturesque, and well suited for an overnight stay. Now, Tony, our driver who works for Mario, he insisted on carrying my equipment backpack, which is pretty heavy, until my sister fell. And then he pretty much took charge. He was in charge of her well-being, which, he's a stand-up guy. I was really impressed with how he took over. And I think my sister was appreciative as well, although I'm wondering now if she faked the fall. Which brings me to the next day. Yesterday was my birthday, so my friend Sammy and Javier invited us for Pozole Day. So we went out to...
Forgot the name of it.
Yeah, I'll post the name there somewhere, but tell us what you thought.
This was the highlight, I think, of the trip, the locals that Andy knows. And so here we are in somebody's home and they're making this pozole, which was delicious. But in addition to that, our conversations really took this turn into this, it was entertaining about what they used to do, things I could relate to and just get the joy of what their life was like. I just have to say I was really entertained, welcomed, and their hospitality was awesome.
Javier is an extra special person. He is a multi-talented person. He is a multi-talented entrepreneur, and he's a great cook. And he was up all night, he said, cooking and preparing this pozole for us. As soon as we drove up, you could just smell the aroma of the food that he was cooking. And like Margie said, you know, people, Andy's friends here, they really love him. And because it was Andy's birthday, there was Javier. He didn't even warn us that he was going to do this. He just walked out. He had this harmonica in his pocket, and he just pulled it out and started playing Las Mañanitas for Andy. So that was really special.
Bravo!
Oh, hey.
Yeah, I mean, normally this is my first year that I'm not in Acapulco, so my family over there regrets not being able to lavish me and no presents, no money, food and a lot of love. So Javier and Sammy, they made up for it. I apologize, I'm sure you hear the show going on down on the beach, so I don't know if this is going to be salvageable, but we'll see. We may have to do it again.
It's part of the atmosphere.
Yeah.
Be those people.
Yes.
What the?
We're filming here.
What the Tar Heel?
Hey folks, if you're enjoying videos like this, feel free to click on the cards up above where I'm posting playlists or past videos. And please consider subscribing, hitting the notification bell. That way you are notified every time a new video comes out. Angelo, the owner of El Anzuelo, which you saw in a previous video, he invited me over for a belated birthday complimentary drink, which turned into multiple shots and beers and a Cuban cigar, which I don't smoke.
Fidel Castro cigar.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah.
Oh, Fidel Castro.
Fidel Castro.
Mine's bigger.
Oh!
Yeah, it says Echo in Gina.
Oh, yeah. No, you know, made in Taiwan.
Taiwan.
¿Tú quieres más video?
No, corta.
It turned out to be a very fun evening. He refused any money. The problem was, for my flight the next day, I was a little crudo. Now, Mario, I let him know that we needed to take the COVID test. So he scouted out before we arrived, and once we got there, he had all the information, all the details lined up for us. He recommended the airport testing site, which was the best option for us. And in my last video, or one of my last videos, I mentioned that my computer crashed on me. Mario again stepped up. He had a computer guy. With the diagnostic and the repair of my computer, it cost me $40 US. In the United States, the last time this happened, $350. And Mario, knowing it was my last day, I had the flight in the morning, he told me to just call him and he would take the computer, he would find me wherever I'm at and deliver it to me, which he did. Found me about 7:30 at night. So Not too many people will do that. With regards to the restaurants, my favorite places like La Palapa continue to offer great customer service, consistent good customer service, as well as a new favorite restaurant, El Pulpito. El Pulpito is just up the road from La Palapa, and the chef happens to be the brother of Carla, who you met in the Guadalajara video. I'll post a link there so you can watch that for the first time or again. And of course, Sammy, who has connected me with many of these people in Puerto Vallarta, which is a place that more and more is becoming my go-to destination. That's not to say it's my only go-to destination. I still have family in Acapulco, and I will always love them to the marrow. So we're all praying to get past this pandemic soon, so Mexico can lift themselves up once again. And when you go, feel free, open your pockets when it comes to tipping. I tip ridiculously well because it's the only way I feel that I can help. So I'm interested to know, where have you experienced incredible Mexican people? I'm talking about one or two that have gone beyond caring for you, looking out for your well-being. Go ahead and drop us a line or two so you can share with all of us those people who are amazing in Mexico.